Have you ever really looked at a shipping label on a package? I mean, really looked at it. We see them all the time, but they're not just stickers. They are literally the passports that make global commerce work. And today, we're going to dive into the surprisingly complex world hidden inside these labels and show you how it can all be made incredibly simple. Okay, let's just take a look at this. At first glance, it's just a jungle of lines and numbers, right? But here's the thing. Every single part of this is critical. This barcode, it tells a warehouse halfway across the world exactly what's in the box. This part number, it has to match a database perfectly. If you get one digit wrong, poof, a whole assembly line could grind to a halt. A shipment could get stuck at a border. That's the reality of professional labeling. The stakes are really high. So that leads to a pretty big question. What if you could create these super complex, mission-critical labels, but you didn't need to be a coding genius or a database expert? What if it was as easy as, say, designing a simple flyer? All right, so before we get to the solution, let's really unpack the problem. Let's take a minute to appreciate just how tough this can be for any business. You see, we're not just talking about printing a sticker here. This is like the central nervous system for a supply chain. It's all about pulling live data from a database, making sure you're following strict global rules, and just keeping everything moving smoothly. A mistake isn't just a typo, it's a full-on logistical nightmare. Now that we get just how big the challenge is, let's meet the tool that was built from the ground up to solve it. And here it is, WagLabel. Its entire reason for being is to take that chaotic, really complex process and make it simple, centralized, and automatic. It's designed to turn a massive corporate headache into something that just works. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's jump into the design process itself and see what makes it so powerful. This is really where the magic happens. You're not just staring at a blank screen. WagLabel walks you through it with a simple wizard. You just launch the guide, drag and drop the things you need. Barcodes, text boxes, images, then you connect it to your data and you hit print. It's literally designed so that anyone can make a professional-grade label in minutes. Now this is probably the biggest game changer of all. Just think about the old way of doing things. Somebody's sitting there, manually typing in part numbers or addresses, one by one. It's so slow and a single typo can cause absolute chaos. WagLabel gets rid of that risk completely by syncing directly with your data, whether that's a simple Excel spreadsheet or a huge Oracle database. The information just flows in automatically, which makes the whole process incredibly fast and, more importantly, accurate. You know how you can scan a barcode on a product pretty much anywhere on the planet and it just works? Well, that's not an accident. It's because of a global standard called GS1. Now, for a business, becoming GS1 compliant can be a real pain. But with WagLabel, that compliance is just built right into the software. Your labels are ready for the global stage the second you design them. A perfectly designed label doesn't mean much if your printer can't actually print it correctly. So WagLabel supports over 1,200 different printer models. The chances are extremely high that whatever hardware you're already using is good to go. And that compatibility covers the biggest, most trusted brands in the business. We're talking the workhorses that companies depend on day in and day out, like Zebra and TSC. And it doesn't stop there. We're talking Honeywell, Bixalon, you name it. The main point is, this huge level of support means you can just plug it into the hardware you already own. No need to spend a bunch of money on new equipment. So who is this actually for? You might be surprised. Let's take a look at just how versatile this tool really is. The answer is pretty much every industry you can think of. I mean, think about it. Aerospace needs labels with absolute pinpoint precision for every single part. The food industry needs perfect tracking for expiration dates. Logistics, they have to process thousands of labels an hour without a single error. These are wildly different fields, but they all rely on this exact same platform to keep things running. And here's the perfect visual for that flexibility. On one side, you got this dense, complex shipping label built for a global logistics network. On the other, a clean, simple ID tag for one tiny part on an assembly line. They have completely different jobs, but they're both designed and managed from the exact same easy-to-use interface. Okay, so you can see the power, you can see the flexibility. The next logical question is, of course, how do you get started? Well, the plans are refreshingly simple. There's a genuinely useful free version that's perfect for getting started with the basics. But for most growing companies, the professional plan is really the sweet spot. That's what unlocks those unlimited connections to serious databases like SQL and Oracle and gets you dedicated tech support. And of course, for massive operations, there's a fully customized option. Now, the investment for that really powerful professional edition is 25,000 rupees. But wait till you hear this next part because it really shows you the kind of value we're talking about. That's not per year. It's not a monthly subscription that just keeps hitting your credit card. It is a one-time payment for a lifetime license. You buy it once and it's yours forever. In a world where everything is a subscription, that is almost unheard of. And this quote really gets to the heart of it all. Quickly design professional labels without investing in training and coding. The whole idea is to put the power in your hands so you can do it yourself without needing a whole team of specialists or paying for expensive training. But of course, the best way to really understand how powerful this is to just try it. There's a completely free trial available so you can test out this exact workflow with your own data, and there's absolutely zero risk. So really, it all comes down to this. Every single product, every package, every part in your business tells a piece of your story. The only question left is how are you going to make sure that story is being told clearly, accurately, and efficiently?